Hello, welcome to another episode of my Stellaris Let's Play. This is Northstar. I hope you folks are well, taking care of each other, and being kind to yourselves. I had to take a bit of a break, food, in the last videos, and well, it's been a while since you guys saw them, so probably relevant to y'all. I did, however, take a quick gander at a video on social housing in Red Vienna, which, okay, let me take a step back. For those of you who haven't played Stellaris much, there's a civic called Shared Burdens. There's utopian social housing that can be achieved in it. And that's clearly inspired by the actual history of real life pre-World War II Austria, and specifically before the fascists took over the country in 1934. The Austro-fascists, who then the Nazis later took over Austria from the Austro-fascists, but who had their basis in more rural areas. But the capital of Austria, Vienna, elected a socialist government, and prior to 1934, they built an immense, a luxurious series of public housing buildings, beneficial, to the majority of the population. In fact, even today, over 60% of the population of Vienna lives in social housing. To help deal with the problem of housing shortage after World War I. Hold on a sec. Sorry, spider. It's a jumping spider, which are normally mildly venomous because they have to take down their prey quickly. They don't have the luxury of stuff getting caught up in webs. I'm not aware of any that are seriously dangerous, but they can be a real pain if they bite you. And there seem to be a lot of them around here. Maybe wandering through that window isn't completely sealed. Attracted all the insects that are attracted to the light. Anyways, start right out with this. Housing is a human right, and right for whatever alien species in the case of this game too. And in the US, there's a housing crisis, and there has been for a long time, which is part of why disabled such as I am with long COVID, I have to seriously fear for my ability to even keep a roof over my head, because I can't work any substantial amount. Really, there are only a few jobs I can do any amount of, and not a ton of hours, even those. Not enough to pay rent on its own. And SSI is not enough to pay rent in a lot of areas. I had to move to the middle of nowhere to be able to pay rent. There's not a lot of housing in absolute terms in those areas, so it can be tough to even make that work. To find something when it opens up. But in the US, housing is very much treated like an investment commodity. People have to say commodity, but it's treated as an investment, a retirement investment for a lot of middle class people. As an excuse to, not have to say the government provide a better retirement, program for people than Social Security, which, here's the thing. Society fundamentally distributes resources certain ways, or it doesn't. It doesn't really matter how the numbers play around. Housing could be worth a lot less, not increase in value, and the government could just have higher taxes and put more money to Social Security, and retirees would be just as well off. There's always distributional fights over how much should go to the top earners during their careers versus everyone else, but the fact of the matter is the government could distribute any which way they wished. And that's fundamentally democracy, to actually have people voting on how resources should be distributed, which is something that capitalism, frankly, undermines by not putting those decisions in the hands of the people, and instead putting those decisions in the hands of those with the most money. But anyways, in Vienna, they built all this housing, and it's still around. It was built in the 1920s, and it's still there, and it is beautiful. It's got swimming pools and courtyards. It's not like the shitty public housing that's been built in the United States, which is often dangerous, decrepit, rundown, underfunded, and was never nice to begin with, and not built in a way that'd be attractive, which might make people want to keep it in better shape. Because human behavior is affected by aesthetics. Aesthetics matter because of that. I mean, personally, I don't care that much about aesthetics, but I know it affects the behavior of myself and others, and that's why it matters. Because if something looks nice, people will go through more effort to keep it looking nice and keep it clean and so forth. So nice looking public housing with good amenities. Could be done here in the US. Could be used to bring down the cost of housing because it's just not coming down through market mechanisms to anything reasonable. Capitalism has clearly failed in this regard. As it always will, because its long-term tendency is for a handful of billionaires to own everything and for inequality to grow and more people to be given fewer and fewer resources. Well, everything gets redistributed upwards to the top. That's the long-term tendency. That comes from things like consolidation, monopolies, which, yes, you can try and prevent monopolies from forming. But then, billionaires get enough money to undermine the laws to prevent the monopolies, and then the monopolies form. They're so powerful you can't reverse it, which is what's happened. Reagan tore the heart out of the laws that prevented monopolies in the United States. He was funded by billionaires. He actually got his start doing union busting drives for, I think it was General Motors or something. That was how he started his political career. He's just a B-list actor before that. His career was funded by the very rich. Goodbye anti-union laws, goodbye anti-consolidation laws. Monopolies eat up everything. There are a few companies that eat up everything, form giant monopolies that are not considered monopolies because the law was changed and what's considered a monopoly, and the standards of when a monopoly could be broken up were changed, and now the billionaires hold so much wealth, there's little chance without like a new constitutional convention of actually undoing the damage. That's what capitalism innately leads to. So, anyways, I got my order habitat here. Knight's order. The capital, building an energy grid, working on improving the reactor district on the habitat. I need all this energy because I'm going to automate the generators. Here, this is going to add 28 energy upkeep. Won't quite go into the red, but I add some more civilian industry here. The civilian industry specialization in civilian industry buildings. It's got some energy. Synth. I do need energy to resettle pops. Anyways, I don't know. Look up stuff on Re-Consecrating, and it's very interesting and in a way relevant to Stellaris. With the socializing being something shared burdens Civic can do. That Civic requires fanatic egalitarian though. Is not compatible with Megcores. In fact, it's there's no Megcore version of the Civic, so I'm gonna end up forming a Megcore and going workers' cooperatives, which is a form of socialism, by the way. Workers' cooperatives is market socialism. So it uses market mechanisms, but it's not capitalist. You can have it's like a giant Mondragon corporation. You can have a socialist galactic government. It's organize this giant corporation. That's a thing you can do in Stellaris. That's what a workers' cooperative government is. Anyways, socialism is when the means of production are in the hands of the worker, and it doesn't matter if it's run as worker cooperatives, democratic, socialist, planned economy, or even something like the Soviet Union, a command economy. It is, or if the Soviets, though, thing to keep in mind about them is that they claimed through the party mechanisms the workers would control things, and they might, but it was one subset of workers without democracy. People who came from the working class. You need opposition parties for a healthy government, no matter what your system.
Construction completed.
Cool. There goes that trade hub. Off on the Nebula Friday a little bit because I just silly to sci-fi stuff because I need to upgrade this fleet, which actually I can do now. Let's get on it. Deal with the red profits. Take them down. Screwed up by not putting FDL drives on that design. $40. It costs $800 to get the other groups. So. You know what? Just gonna do the bucklers. Then I can upgrade this fleet for just 100. Always. Heck, I'll throw them at the end. The Osprey and such. There. I can show up with both upgrade fleets in the battle fleet bubbles and just wipe out these red profits easily. I'll have to wait to add the energy siphons and some armor later. Cost effective certainly, but not time effective. It's fading here, but I gotta keep up my energy. 5 a.m. and I have to get to where I'm alert. Still at 9 a.m. I think it is. Give me a sec. Yeah. So I gotta keep shifting my cycle further this way, my sleep cycle, and my body often hates doing it too far. So to where I'm getting up. 10 p.m. maybe. So I'm still 11 hours later, where I'm starting to. I mean, I'd still be starting to fade a little by that point. Heap that people don't want to start early. It's like today early. 6 tomorrow, and things open at 8, but they won't set something at 9. I told them as soon as possible. So why don't you do it at 8, right when you open? Whatever. Oh. A lot of available technician jobs here. Wait, didn't I set up the mining jobs? energy generation. The anchor is actually going to run an energy deficit, sort of. No, it won't. Produce same more energy costs. Yeah, I should run more miners and pure technicians. For now. Especially because I'm mining. I have capacity subsidies too, but the mining more efficient because it's got my own processing plant already. And I need the minerals. Well, I knew I'd make mistakes. It just happens. A couple months I can try and re-consecrate. World's my home system. Researching here into my head of research. Stasia, Ria Nova. Take what's over. We've been doing her thing. This person here. And strange emissions there. Fungal emitters. Ooh. I believe this gives me the location of a specific, there's a unique system, the Orville system. Oh. Yeah, it'll point towards that. Which I already know the location of. Interesting. I'm calling an event related to this. It's better to get that event before I do it. So one more reason I want the system on my borders. So that it could be minor artifacts someday. Anyways. Crimes found under control and anchor is the mini shortfall gets less. Happiness goes up. Shipyard's busily using alloys to upgrade. Fleets, month. Great stuff. One defender. Merivandian Society. Bayou. We have detected the presence of pre-FTL alien civilization on Bayou 3. In the Bayou system, they have entered the early steam age, and there's clear evidence they're beginning to make use of both vehicles and early factories powered by steam engines. We should consider building an observation post about the world system closely. Militarist, xenophobe. Xenophobe militarist, anyways. The civilization is currently the equivalent of the steam age. The invention of the steam engine has had far-reaching effects on our society, and they stand on the cusp of an industrial revolution. Don't want them to reach FTL on their own. probably swallowed up by some empire or another. Or what this, yeah, I mean, empire, what this empire will do. Yeah, these guys are cordial. Cool. A lot of relations are positive, but you even require joining a federation with them. These people want to do that. Hurry to find new aliens here. This would be a better place for the roamer. I want to quickly spray through here and then get to this trap science ship before it's too late. Oop. Wrong roamer. There we go. Tickless roamer, that's what I meant to. Cool. A little tired, loopy, whatever. 900 minerals. So we'll cut down on the housing, but it's more efficient than these in terms of trade-off housing for civilian industries. I mean, for artisan jobs. So luxury businesses don't add that much housing in real life, but I guess it's advanced sci-fi ones that are super tall or something. They should add more amenities and fewer, less housing, if anything. Oh. Used to in previous versions with utopian housing providing more housing. Of course, maybe that's provides even more in absolute terms now. Who knows? It's probably recognition that building is a lot of space on a planet. This is compared to districts, it's a lot. Honestly, districts should provide more housing now, given the civilian jobs exist. So there's a soap for excess population. I actually kind of like the whole civilians thing, although I'm sure it'll get nerfed. The numbers will be capped or something.
Anomalous readings registered.
Efforts to map the surface of this moon have identified a strange mountain range in the southern hemisphere. It does not appear to have formed naturally. Borbo 3A. Borbo 3A. It's amazing if it's in the borders. Eventually. Should, though, provided to avoid the shitoid, be able to... These ships get... this anomaly. What anomalies they've done? Forget. Your days, it's not terrible. Just get a nice chunk of experience. There's a lot of room here. User speed. Wait, when did they get here? I think they just did a while ago, but whatever. Tired. Making mistakes, that to be one. To forgive myself those. It's trying my best to forgive yourself. Things. Try and learn from them, but and to forgive others to there is human to forgive is divine. Some bullshit about not being wearing protocols, honestly. It's just a ridiculous way of looking at the world. Forgiveness is necessary. Not hold anger with you. The reason that came to my mind right now, but anyways, I'm not gonna talk about it. Alrighty then. I'm not running a food surplus anymore? Huh? Okay. Oh, cause why are they running technicians instead? That's weird. Second. Ah, yes. Consider reactivating the temple here on Anchor. Maybe it's better to wait till I can fully staff it. Maybe do this first. And wait till we can fully staff it. That's consumer goods eventually for. This is arcs. Excuse me. Fading quicker than I should. Oh yeah, let's do the bounty. Save, but you know, this go wrong. I mean, there's RNG, but all right. It's respected. Now it's a holy. This planet is deemed immaculate. In an immaculate and sacrosanct place. Nice. Turn consecrated world worship. 16% uni, 8% amenities. This is one holy and 2 respected worlds. 3 months I can do that again, do another one. Try and get a second holy world, and eventually a third, which will max out the modifier. But the gain from the third one is more than the others, because you get like an extra point of unity or something, or amenities. That last one. Or extra couple points. Which is fair. Since the modifiers are added to even remain competitive. Let's do that. I have other things above the uni. Cure the priests. They benefit from veneration of saints, favorite society, the pursuit of profit. Spirit reaffirmed, consecrated world worship, nightly quest. Yeah, and spirituals. Ton of bucks. I mean that just 40 priests provide 0.86 society and 3.21 uni. Oh.